Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Antone, and I'm the Senior Marketing and Events Coordinator at MAR, as well as the producer of our free webinar series. Our webinar today is C2EX, Why It's Important for Realtors. This webinar will cover the Commitment to Excellence, or C2EX program, and how it empowers members to evaluate, enhance, and showcase their highest levels of professionalism. Understand NAR's new program and why you need to add it to your tool belt. After our live session, the webinar will be recorded and added to our website at marealtor.com. If you have any questions throughout this session, please type them in the bottom of the chat box on your screen and we will hold a Q&A afterward. You'll also find a C2EX user guide handout in your handouts section. Our presenter today is Linda Cody. Linda is a licensed real estate broker in Massachusetts and New Hampshire and an approved instructor of real estate in Massachusetts through the Board of Registration. She has over 30 years of residential sales experience and is a platinum producer, which means she's done over 12 million in sales volume. She's a past president of the Northeast Association of Realtors, former chairperson of professional standards at MAR and NEAR, as well as the 2017 Realtor of the Year and the 2017 Educator of the Year. Linda is currently an instructor for the NAR and MAR and serves on the Board of Registration Subcommittee on Education for Massachusetts. Now, over to Linda.
Thank you, Lauren. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all well. I'm kind of excited. This is my very first webinar. I usually have a classroom in front of me with people talking back to me, so this is different. But I'm very excited about it, and I'm happy to be here. And I'm excited about the Commitment to Excellence, the C2EX program. I had the privilege of being on the Professional Development Committee when this program was introduced. And everybody was very excited about it and hoping that it would catch on. And it has caught on somewhat, but it hasn't caught on as much as everybody would hope. So we need to get the word out like everything else. We've all had a very busy real estate schedule. The housing market has been on fire for the past couple of years all across the country. So now we have a little bit more time on our hands. So this could be the perfect time to figure out how to do your commitment to excellence. So I'm excited about it. I was one of the first people, let's say in the first 100, to actually do it. And it was very clunky at the time, and they've made a lot of improvements. So I don't know if you've heard that it's clunky or not clunky or whatever. I'm hoping that today we'll be able to show you it's something worthwhile for you to spend your time on. So with that, we're going to get started. So this obviously is the commitment to excellence. We'll get on the right page here. So, and this is also another exciting thing, that C2EX is a 2019 Learning Award winner. It's top 100, and important to know, because I didn't know what the top learning organizations were. Amazon, the U.S. Department of Defense, and the American Heart Society Association are all previous winners, so it's quite a coup. It was definitely a novel program, hoping to reach the masses, and I believe that it did. So it's a real feather in our cap that it won this award. So yay, all right? You will see that Lauren has made available to you the C2EX user guide. It is getting started with the commitment. It was last updated in July of 2019. I do not believe there have been any changes since then, but if there have been, you'll be able to see right away, but the basics are going to be the same. So you can easily go ahead and download that. Then you'll have it for future reference. And if any of you are going to be trying to do this while we're doing this webinar today, you'll have your computers ready, and we're going to kind of walk through it, and we might actually do a few assessments. All right, so this is the overview. This is what it looks like. And here's a real quick video for you guys to take a peek at.
No tech. No tech. Strengthening your business. Strengthening your business. Real estate law. Real estate law. Test your skill level with technology, client services, real estate law, and 8 more key elements of professionalism. Take the NAR challenge. C2EX is NAR's Commitment to Excellence program. Log on to C2EX.Realtor and take the self-assessment that measures your proficiency in each of 10 elements of professionalism. 11 for brokers. Test your knowledge. See how you stack up to your fellow realtors. It's easy. It's available 24/7. Based on your results, the platform generates customized learning paths, recommended experiences, and provides tools and resources to increase your knowledge and enhance your skill sets.
The end result, you. Only better.
Wow your clients with your proven commitment to excellence.
So we're going to go through all of that because that's really fast, and we're going to go through each one of the steps. But I thought it would be important to know that where the numbers are. There are approximately 50,000 realtors across the country that are in process or have achieved the commitment to excellence. Massachusetts has, I'm sorry, that my number has to be wrong. They have to be in process. There are 25,000 realtors in Massachusetts, give or take. There are 235 realtors that have actually achieved the endorsement, and there are 1,037 currently in process. And when you think about 25,000 realtors and 1,000 only in process and 200 having received it, it's kind of an elite group. So be one of the elitists, be one of the ones that has made this commitment to your professionalism and your education. I think it's a great way to be able to showcase what you are able to do and that you treat real estate as your profession. So I think it's important to know what those numbers are. So C2EX was launched by the National Association of Realtors in November of 2018. And they launched this because every single time they ever did a survey of consumers and of realtors, they found out that there were two things that were really wanted. They wanted more professionalism and they wanted more education. So with that, the C2EX program was born to reach the biggest number of people, the largest number of people, and give them the tools that hopefully they would be able to do and on their own and increase their professionalism and absolutely keep them educated. This is a really competitive marketplace that we're in. You all know real estate is quite a career. We've had a lot of disruptors. We've had disruptors because real estate is perceived as a money-making industry. So with the likes of Zillow and Amazon and Trulia, they all want to get into our business. We are constantly needing to find a point of differentiation. So being a realtor gives us that opportunity to say to them, you know what, we invest in our industry. We do so many things, and I have made the commitment to excellence, and that's what it means. It's one of my points of differentiation. For any of you who have been in my classes, you know I talk about that all the time. We have to explain to people what makes us special, why we're different, why we're professional. So your point of differentiation, new marketing slogan for you. All right. Now, why would you do it? Why would anybody want to do it? Just what's in it for me? You're going to have the ability to evaluate your current knowledge, which is kind of interesting. I did a brief survey of some of my fellow instructors, and they all thought that the information was, you know, pretty basic and pretty simple, and I think that's probably what they have to say. But actually, I'm glad they said that because they're the instructors, so they should know the information. I also asked a few agents, well, several agents, and they thought that the information was really valuable and didn't realize how much they didn't know that they thought they knew, and thought it was really, really interesting. So instructors thought they knew a lot. Agents said, wow, this is great stuff. You're going to have the ability to enhance your professionalism and knowledge base because you're going to be learning more. You can go back to it all the time. I go back often, especially when things come up about certain subjects. You'll have access to the library. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I go back to find out things about antitrust because that's been an issue. I'll go back, it was for fair housing. That's one of my favorites. And cybersecurity, I've done maybe 5 times. And it also will give you the tools, again, to showcase your professionalism. You're going to add C2EX to the end of your tagline, to the end of your business card. You're going to market it on your internet sites, whether it be Facebook or Instagram. And you're going to have placards, and you're going to have an award. You're going to have all kinds of things that you'll see at the end. But it gives you something else to talk about and the opportunity to speak to your customers and your clients about what your point of differentiation is and why it makes a difference and why they need to use a realtor. So what you're going to need to get started, you're going to need your NAR login and passcode. I'm hoping that everybody has at least once signed into NAR, but if you haven't, you're going to need your NERDS number. That's the number that you find on your magazine. That's your membership number. All right, and the contact information for the program is C2EX@realtor.org or www.nar.realtor/C2EX. Or if you don't remember that, you can just go to nar.realtor. So I'm going to bring this over so you can see. This is what nar.realtor would look like if you log it in, right? So this is what the page looks like. And I just wanted you to be able to see what you would see if you went there. Now, let's say that I can't remember. I know they told me what it was. I don't see anything here. Then you're going to go to education. You'll remember education because C2EX is about education. And there it is. There's C2EX. So then I would click on C2EX. And it brings me down. It shows that I have made a commitment to excellence as a realtor. All right, and it will give me the opportunity to complete assignments. And we're going to get rid of that right now. But that's how you log in, and that's where you're going to go to find it. And once you've done that, you'll be able to just move forward. So C2EX@realtor.org or www.nar.realtor/C2EX or nar.realtor. Okay, so I'm sure you've all got that right now. It is self-directed. It can take 10 hours over 2 weeks. That's about the national average. It is good for 2 years, and it will tell you when you're due at the end, when you're finished, it will tell you when you need to renew. And it does open a direct line to the NAR resources in the library, which again, they have everything you needed to know about real estate. You don't need to ask Google. You can ask NAR library or go to NAR and ask your questions. Anything you would need to know about real estate is in NAR. So we're going to cover how to complete the assessments. There are 10 assessments. I wish I could ask you how many of you have actually started, but whoops, sorry about that, guys. There are 10 assessments. Unless you're a broker, then there are 11, but you have to go through the assessments. And then once you finish those, you'll get a learning path. And that learning path will be assigned to you based on your answers to the assessments. So I have to say, the first time I did it, and it's still the same, I did the assessment. I wanted them to tell me how many I got right and how many I got wrong. It doesn't tell you that. It only tells you what your learning path will be based on your answers. So I'm like, oh, I wish I knew what I got right and what I got wrong. But it did give me the learning paths, and I did have learning paths in most of the 10 assessments, which I thought also was kind of interesting. Then you're going to have the complete tasks. It's going to be, excuse me, the tasks will be required of you in the program. All right. So the directions for the guide, this guide that we're going about right now, is based on a desktop or a laptop. You can do the C2EX for mobile use, but I will say what I've heard many, many people say is they've started it on the desktop because then you get it all set up. And once you start your learning path, you can use it on the mobile, but it's not as user-friendly. I wouldn't say not as user-friendly. It's just small. The phone is small on a mobile or an iPad, but you can use it on either of those devices as well. So if you're sitting waiting outside while someone's conducting a home inspection during this pandemic, you could be working on your C2EX. So just something to keep in mind that it started on a desktop if you haven't started it yet. All right, so after you've logged into the C2EX, the C2EX Realtor, using your login information and your password for NAR, and that could be it could be your NERDS number if you've never logged in before. You're going to get a quick welcome video, and then you'll navigate to your dashboard. And the dashboard is what helps you keep track of your progress. And don't forget, by the way, if you have any questions throughout, just put them in the chat box because we're going to be answering questions at the end. All right, so this is what your dashboard is going to look like. It says dashboard, learning, tasks, and surveys. So I'm just going to bring this over again so you can see what my dashboard looks like. All right. So you can see it's got the dashboard, the learning, the tasks, the surveys, and of course the help. All right. Over here is where you get to the library, the National Association, the commitment to excellence. So this is the learning, the tasks, and equals the endorsement. All right. So you can see mine. It just shows, it will show the badges, it will show everything, and I can invite other members. But that's your dashboard. That's going to be your go-to place every single time. Now, these are the assessments. So you're going to get these circles. I know they're kind of fuzzy right now, but you're going to get all these circles. These represent all of the assessments. So all of the classifications. And they're really fun, very interesting, and you'll get to choose them as you like. So each of those competencies, each one of those, which I'll tell you what they are in a few minutes, you'll begin with the assessment. And that assessment will help determine what your specific learning path is. So I know we talked about that. I'm going to mention that a few times because you have to complete the assessments in order to unlock your learning paths. And that will also open up your tasks. So one thing leads to another to another. The broker competency is required for brokers, but it's an optional and only made available for non-brokers who are interested in reviewing the content. So it'll still be on your page. You're just not required to use it if you're not a broker. And the system will know if you are a broker or if you are an agent. All right, so these are the subjects. These are where your proficiencies will have to be in. Real estate law, the code of ethics, which is my personal favorite, and I will be honest and say it's the one I started with because I felt like I could practically recite the code of ethics, right? So Article 10, and for those of you who don't know, Article 10 is the Equal Housing Opportunity, the Fair Housing article of the Code of Ethics. And April has been Fair Housing Month, and 51 years now. Advocacy, that would be RPAC, private property rights, Realtor Party, talks all about that. Trust and integrity, technology, safeguarding privacy, areas of practice, client services, professional reputation, and then the broker owner section, if that's something that you choose to go into. Don't have to, but those are all of the subjects that you're going to do assessments and then have learning paths. All right, so let me see if I can get us to an assessment so we can see this a little bit better. Now, somebody was kind enough to let me have theirs and they haven't done anything yet. So, no, that's not it. Bear with me, guys. I got too many things open here. Let's see if this is it. This is the one. All right. So I'm going to go to learning on this one, okay? Because this person hasn't done anything yet. And you'll notice it has an exclamation point required for endorsement, and the gray check mark means it's completed. So I look and I see that none of these have been done yet. All right, so I'm like, okay, I have all these competencies, and why don't we pick a different one? Let's pick Article 10, since April was, no, I don't want to do that one. Let's pick Code of Ethics. All right, and it's saying the assessment hasn't been done. So you saw that I clicked on Code of Ethics, it erased the plus sign, it's telling me I need to do the assessment because it hasn't been done. So I click on the assessment. And then this is where we left off. It says begin, complete the assignment to receive learning topics based on your score. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do this real quick so you can get an idea. Remember, they're not gonna tell me what the answers are. So NAR's Code of Ethics outline duties to what? Clients, customers, the public, and realtors, buyers, sellers, lenders, and contractors, the transaction, the property, and the team, the client, the company, and the public. So my choice would be customers, clients, public, and realtors. And I'm going to submit that. What is NAR's preferred method of resolving disputes involving realtors? Consultation, investigation, mediation, or legal action? We know it's mediation. So I'm going to say mediation and submit it. What is the primary focus of Article 1 of the Code of Ethics? Equal professional services without discrimination, protecting and promoting the interests of your client, while treating all parties honestly, not making false and misleading statements about other real estate professionals, and the obligation to participate in mediation or arbitration. So I know that the answer is protecting and promoting the interests of the client while treating all parties honestly. But let's give a different answer so we get one wrong, so that when we get to the learning path, we can see what happens. And I'm going to say not making false or misleading statements about other real estate professionals, which for your information would be Article 16, I think. I could be wrong. All right, submit. If a property is listed for sale by a brokerage, can an agent from a different firm contact the owner to offer property management services? Yes, this is permitted. No, this is an ethics violation. So we're going to say, yes, this is permitted because it's a different type of business, and submit it. What is the nickname applied to the Code of Ethics since 1913? The golden thread, the golden rule, the foundation, the unbending arrow. We're going to say it's the golden thread. You can get a sense of what these there. I've completed the assessment. All right, you have your first assessment done and you've started a new commitment to real estate. All right, then it gives me the opportunity to go to learning, which we're not going to do that right now. We're going to save and do that later. All right, so we went right through an assessment so you could see what would be involved. We know we answered some wrong, so we can see what the learning path will be. Don't forget, if you have questions, don't forget to put them in the chat. And if you have even more questions after the fact, you can always reach out to me because I'm happy to help. So now here's another assessment example. Should you store client information on a cloud server? So we would answer it and then we would submit, just like we did with the Code of Ethics one. Now it's going to give you your personalized learning path based on the results of your assessment. So we happen to do Code of Ethics. This one, they happen to talk about real estate law. So then we go to learning. Now I'm going to bring this one back so you can see this one again. All right, and we go to learning. Now it can either be here, but let's say I left, I didn't do that, then I would go up here. So let me go back to my dashboard just so I can show you. And then go to learning, required for endorsement. Okay, we did Code of Ethics. Click on that. Applying the code, you have tasks. So I'm going to start my tasks. All right, and this is how you do that. You have learning competencies that I have to do. Okay, so that's how you're going to do that. And this is telling me to read case interpretations. So that's what would be required on this one. So it's saying you're going to read, case interpretations. And I don't want to read all of them. There's a bunch, but it's a really good idea. I'm going to have a completion date. I'm going to verify that I did that. But that's a task as opposed to learning. Okay, let's go back. So at least you sort of get a sense. But to get started, you're going to click on those learnings, the stack of books in the upper right-hand corner. All right, guys, hope you're all doing okay here. So that's easy to say, access your assessments. That's where you're going to get them. That's how you get to them in the learning area. And remember, the pink plus signs on the right-hand slide for each competency means that you're going to open it up. That's how you're going to open it up and you're going to complete it. And the yellow exclamation point is the one that says you have things to complete there. All right, I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to go back to learning. And there, see the exclamation point and the pink plus sign. All right, so there's stuff that has to happen. Now, if I just happen to go to real estate law, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen is it's going to tell me I need to complete the assessment because I haven't done that. Okay, in Code of Ethics, it's not telling me. It's giving me I have tasks to do with this because we did the assessment on it already. If I'm being too repetitive, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to keep doing that. You have to deal with it. All right, Article 10. Now, this is a question in Article 10. So, providing equal professional services to all consistent with Article 10 of the Code of Ethics, which is fair housing, and you have tasks associated with this competency. So they wanted you to see what would happen if you chose Article 10. Once you've answered all the questions on your learning path, once you've answered all the assessment questions in a given subject matter, your learning path will be created for that competency. I actually do want to go back to Article 10. I'm going to do it in a different place, though. I'm going to do it on mine because I've already done it. I want you to see what something like that would actually look like. All right, so fair housing is one of my favorites. I think I told you I go back to it all the time. All right, I'm going to say start over. So here we are. Now this is an actual learning path. NAR supports fair housing for all. Article 10 of the Code of Ethics prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, national origin, sexual orientation, or gender identity. The Federal Fair Housing Act affords civil right protections to buyers. State and local ordinances often offer additional legal protections. So we have federally protected characteristics and examples of state, which I could open those up, which I'm not. Now, this is fair housing as a marketing tool. So this is an example they're going to have you go through. A colleague would like to integrate fair housing into his marketing approach, but isn't sure how to get started. Help your colleague learn how to use fair housing as a marketing tool. Makes sense. That's what you're going to do. That's your exercise. So then you begin. The colleague says, I know what I'm supposed to avoid, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to actively do. Is inclusive marketing just about avoiding pitfalls? So your answers could be, exactly, you might want to put together a checklist of things to avoid to make doubly sure, or there's more to it, target a few prime demographics to show you cast a wide net, then focus on the best performing one, or you can do more, provide enthusiastic, objective information on specific amenities to reach a diverse set of home seekers. So I need to choose which of those I think is the best answer. I'm going to choose this and I'm going to submit it. It brings me to the next section. That makes sense. I'm proud our dedication to equal housing opportunity. Is there a way to communicate this more explicitly in my marketing materials? You get to choose an answer. In addition to the Equal Housing Opportunity logo, you can include a fair housing statement on your website, brochure, and flyers. Or, I'm afraid not, specifically saying that you support it isn't appropriate in advertising and marketing copy. Or, you can make this statement on your professional website, but should probably leave it off printed materials. So we would pick our answer, and I'm going to pick answer 1. So great, I'd love to deepen my involvement in promoting fair housing. What else can I do? The only thing you could do is participate in an NAR committee on these issues. As a realtor, it's best that you avoid working in any sort of advocacy. Professional standards require us to appear neutral, or get involved through a professional or community organization. It makes a difference and improves your reputation too. So that's my answer. I'm submitting it, well done, and it tells me all the different ways. So we've gone through an assessment, and we've gone through the learning path. So you can see that was not that difficult to do. So I'm going to go put that back to the dashboard. You can see this really is in live time, guys. All right, so once you've answered all those questions, the learning path, if you have a grayed out exclamation point, that means that the learning path has been completed. A yellow exclamation point means that the learning path has not been completed. All right, I'm going to come back again so you can see this again. Learning. Now this happens to be mine, not the other one we were playing with. So you can see these are all grayed out, meaning that they have been completed. So that would look like when you're done. Okay. And again, you can go back and do them anytime you want. The yellow exclamation point at the bottom of the learning page is only a key explaining what the yellow exclamation point means. It does not track your progress. You remember, we talked about tracking your progress is going to be in your dashboard with the round circles. If they're dark blue, they're not done. Light blue is completed. All right. If you aren't a broker, you will still see the broker learning path. If you are not a broker, the platform knows this, and it will not require you to complete the broker path. Even if you see a yellow exclamation point, it's going to know you're not a broker. You are allowed to do it. You may want to. It's interesting. A lot of good information about risk there. So I would say you may want to do it. If you're a person that likes puzzles, you're going to just love this. Okay. Now, not only is C2EX about learning, it is about experiences. And that's why they have tasks. And some of the tasks are actually required for the endorsement. And the rest are there just to enhance and test your skills in real life and work scenarios. They're highly recommended. You also have the ability to create your own tasks if you want to. So let me see if I'll go back to my dashboard. You guys are being really patient with me, I hope. And tasks. And my tasks are all done. So let's see. I'm going to create a task. I'll show you. I'm just going to create a task. So let's say that I need to say community involvement. So my description is going to be, I'm going to conduct a class for consumers about how to handle real estate during a pandemic. Well, fast fingers today, pandemic. All right. So we'll fix that. So that's going to be my task that I've created for myself. It's something I really want to do. I think it's important. I'm going to pick a due date. Now I'm going to pick my due date as May 8th. I'm going to have it done by May 8th. Now I'm going to create that task. And that task is going to be there for me to do. And I'm going to have to go ahead and do it to get to continue with my C2EX. All right. So the tasks are very often attend a town meeting, attend a class on flood. It's going to be things like that. Those are going to be the types of tasks that you're going to get. So they could be required for your endorsement. There are a bunch that are required. And remember when I first took it and I got through all of the assessments, all of the learning paths, and then it brought up tasks that I needed to do. I was like, oh yeah, but it is on the honor system. And you're going to say that you completed the task and you did it on purpose, and you did it honestly. And some of them are optional and some of them are assigned. And then of course we just saw the ones that are created by you. So they're telling you now how to do it. And this happened to be once you've completed a task. All right. So C2EX required. All right. This one happened to be real estate law. Was read about RESPA. I remember that one. I had to do that one. Read the CAN-SPAM Act under real estate law, or attend a community meeting. So that was the one that was done. So you can see it's blue, it's checked off, then it's done. And that's how you're going to know if your tasks are done. So now you want to know where you're at. In order to track your progress on each of the competencies, you're going to go back to your dashboard. That's always going to be your go-to place. And you're going to review it from the dashboard icon. So the light blue means it's completed. It's totally completed. You can kind of see what it all looks like now. And then the dark blue, like these two, haven't even been started yet. These are partially done. If you have the light blue around the dark blue, it means they've been partially done. And as you can see, you can jump all over. You don't have to go in order. You don't have to complete one to move to another. You can jump all over. You can do it however you feel most comfortable about doing it. But this is where you're going to track where you are. And I'll tell you, when you start seeing more light blue than dark blue, you want to hurry up and get it. You want to do it. You get excited about it. So the halos represent how much more is to be done. Now the library. The library is the place to find all things real estate. And this is where you're going to find the library, right over there. So we're going to bring this back again. And I'm going to go to my dashboard, which is what I do for everything. All right. And here's click on that. And here's where I can change my profile. I get notices. I have reflection, achievements, the library. So here's the library. And the library is going to give me all kinds of information. But let's say, for instance, I want to know something about antitrust. Because we were talking about that. Well, if you can spell it, it really helps too. All right, so antitrust. So here it tells me the FTC Guide to Antitrust Laws. So then I can find it, open it up, and it tells me everything that I might need to know about antitrust. It talks about price discrimination, the violations, dealing with the supply chain, dealing with competitors, the enforcers, what the penalties will be, how do we do mergers. So everything I wanted to know about antitrust and then some. It keeps going, all right? Just so you gotta get an idea of how the library would work. If there was something that you wanted to know. Say you wanted to know about, now I have no idea, I haven't tried this, which is probably not something you're supposed to do. But let's just see if coming soon is in here. If there's any, no results. So they don't have anything about that. But what about cooperation? And still no results because I'm batting 1,000. So apparently I'm going to have to stick to something that's going to follow up in here, and I'm not wording it correctly. So we know cooperation would be Article 3. And see, still no results. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to talk to them about that. Anyway, that's how the library works. So if you're looking for something, that would be a great way to take advantage of that, because that's there for you. Now, when you see this, when you log in, this is what you'll see. A C2EX endorsement shows that you've made a commitment to excellence as a realtor. When you finish, then you will see your badges. All right, now I'm bringing you back here again. This one is me, so you're going to see my badges. So these are the badges that I have, because it doesn't show them all. I don't want to show them on social media. But you can also see it's showing that I've done everything. It's telling me when I have to get renewed by, May 21st of 2021. And these are my badges. All right, so you can see some of them I've done, some of them I haven't. But I have the opportunity to keep working on it if I like. So another great thing for us to be tracking ourselves and doing those self-tests. Now, the promotion concepts, these are the way for you to actually endorse yourself. You're going to get a plaque, and you're going to have, actually, they'll email it to you so you can print it out. And trust me, it uses a lot of ink, but it's worth it. So you're going to have a plaque. Please print it out, hang it up. You also get, it's shareable on social media. You'll also get a frame on social media that you can like put around your picture. That if any of you are my friends on Facebook, I'm Linda M. Cody, you'll see that it's framed in C2EX endorsed. And a lot of people ask me what that means, interestingly enough. I do get a lot of questions about that. All right, you can have placards. You can have the Realtor Pledge in a large format if you like, and surrounded by the C2EX. But the Realtor Pledge is, that's a pretty special pledge that we all take when we first become realtors. I know I did mine 35 plus years ago now, and it's something that I still believe in. And if you have never seen the Realtor Pledge or you haven't done it, I would say ask for it or go to the library and get it, the NAR library. All right, so what brokers can do? Why would a broker benefit? So I don't know how many actual brokers may be on, but a broker is going to have the ability to have assistance in onboarding some new agents. They're going to have the ability to help the new agents with listing presentations, understanding agency relationships, prospecting, closing skills, CMAs, disclosure requirements, time management. They can put together a crisis management. They can have conflict resolution, talks about assembling a team. There's so much information for brokers. Can help them develop a policy and procedures manual, help them with technology and operations, risk management, which is huge, agent coaching and retention. So all kinds of things. So this is, I wanted to give you just a couple of comments. So I chose this one. This one was done by an agent. She's probably sent to me by an agent. I think I told you I asked people for feedback. And she's probably been an active agent for 5 or 6 years, maybe a little bit more. And if you don't mind, I'm going to read this to you. The C2EX endorsement has taught me what is really involved with being a realtor. The responsibility we have to our clients as well as ourselves is huge. Any realtor who takes a C2EX and walks away claiming they did not learn anything new would be shocking. I did not whiz through this. Often I had to stop to really soak it all in. I'm almost done with this endorsement, but stuck on privacy basics and cybercrime. It's not really that I'm stuck, but more or less had some computer cleaning to do. That's her tasks. Maybe in the next few days I will have this complete unless more action tasks are required. This endorsement is not what I expected. Moving forward, you can bet that I will be going to the NAR and MAR sites for answers to questions that I may have. Hopefully, we can get word out about how beneficial C2EX really is. And this is by Ms. VA. And then from an instructor and a broker owner, I didn't think it was that bad once you got the hang of it, which I guess that's kind of like a good thing. I took the training last week so I could help my agents, and it seems like it's easier to get started now than when I started. Not sure if I'm dreaming that or not. And then another person said, I started it and go back every now and then. I haven't had any trouble with the format other than it's a bit boring. So I had to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So some people did think it was a little bit on the boring side because you got to keep going, and it is online and asking questions. That's why you see so much jumping around. And then, yes, I'm in the process and love it. Very interesting, informative, and motivating. I am near completion, I believe, and need to obtain a designation. We'll work on SRES or ePro. So they do want you to have some sort of a designation, and there are lots of designations that are available. And right now, with right tools right now, you can get a lot of them for free. So that could be a great way to complete part one, get something done on your C2EX for free, because that's another big thing. That particular person happens to be in leadership, and I was so excited to see that she was happy about it and found it interesting and motivating. So everybody has a different idea of what it should be. My takeaway from this to NAR is that they really need to tickle people and say, you haven't been on for a couple days, because I think if you let too much time go by without sticking with it, then you do get bored and you don't want to log back in. So I think I did it in about 2 weeks, which is the average. So if you can get it done and make a commitment to do it for, I don't know, half hour a day every day for 2 weeks, you'll be done. So this is what we're going to do, c2ex.realtor. If you have any questions, you can ask them, you can ask us, and you can download your free marketing materials at nar.realtor/c2ex once you've made your commitment, once you have your commitment. With that, I'm going to bring the other page back. All right, so this is the one that was not complete, and we're going to like pretend again right from the beginning just to give you one more. We have a couple minutes before we answer questions, so I want to just give you one more walkthrough about what you're going to do. Okay, so you're in the page. All right, you're on the dashboard, and so now we're going to go to learning. All right, at learning, then we're going to see what needs to be done. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to go to real estate law because I want you to remember how we did this. Real estate law, here's the assessment. Click on the assessment, and then you have the opportunity to begin. And they're not going to give you the answers, tell you if you're right or wrong. You're going to go ahead, go through it, and do the assessment. And then let's say you've done the assessment. All right, now just go back to the code because we worked on that one. You have tasks associated. So this is the task one. This was what we had. They wanted us to read the code of ethics or the case interpretations. All right. I'm going to go back to the learning now. I keep going back to learning. There's the code of ethics again and applying the code. So this is my learning path when I say applying the code. And I have this: knowing the code is useful only if you can apply it to every aspect, read some case interpretations. It goes forward. And so then you have to go through this. All right, it's telling you what you need to do. This is the learning path for the code of ethics, because remember, we purposely answered one wrong to see what would happen. So then you go through, I'm not going to complete this right now, but I just wanted you to see that. One thing we didn't discuss was surveys. So I want to show you surveys really quickly. Surveys are, let's say you have a closing, and let's say you have a closing or you have a new client or somebody you talk to on the phone, you can create surveys and they will email them to those people, and you can see what you thought, and then you'll see what they thought. And unfortunately, because this is a brand new site for this gentleman, there aren't any here. And then of course you always have your help button. Phew. Hey guys, that was a lot of information. I hope that you found it interesting and helpful. I hope that some of you actually started it. You can see it's not that hard and it's kind of fun. You could sit in just a half an hour a day, and before you know it, you'll be done. So I don't know, Lauren, if there were any questions or anybody needed any information or help, but this would be the time for you to share that with us.
Yes, that sounds great. So thank you so much, Linda, for this presentation. It was great. I just want to let you know that actually I am C2EX endorsed. I have my little certificate hanging up in my cubicle at MAR. So that's exciting. And if you have any questions right now, it would be a great time to put them in your chat box below. It looks like we have some already. So let's see. Some of the tasks required are not possible to do right now with COVID-19. Will there be any way around that, or will we need to wait until social distancing is done?
Yeah, we're going to have to wait until the social distancing is done. There's not a lot. This is such an unusual time that you obviously don't want to do anything that you're not supposed to do. So we're going to have to wait out the COVID. We're just going to have to wait it out.
The next question, do you do learning after the questions, or does it prompt you?
You do learning after the questions. So let me see, this is the one. So we do the learning, right? And this is the one, remember, with all the exclamation points. So let's pick a different one, say trust and integrity. And you'll see when I click on that, because remember the yellow exclamation points, here's my assessment, because I haven't done the assessment. Once I do the assessment, I have to answer the questions. And then once I do that, then it will give me the learning path. So then it will go back to learning. So we don't have enough time to go through another assessment, but it's very, very easy. So just remember, when you start, you're going to go to learning. You're going to see the yellow exclamation points and the pink plus signs. That's going to tell you that there's items in there for you to do. And like code of ethics, you won't see the assessment because we already did it. So you only have the learning. And here's the learning path. See the exclamation point? So here it is, applying the code. And then that's going to bring me to the learning again. Continue where I left off, which was at the very beginning, and then applying the code. So then I have to do it. So let's just say an out-of-state client who used to live in town is looking to sell his previous home, which he kept as an investment property. Client says he'd be happy to sell it for $80,000. He seems out of touch with local home prices, but you're sure it's worth at least 30% more. You agree to list it at that price because the client has said it is sufficient, and the transaction at this price would be acceptable to you. Is this decision compliant with the code of ethics? Do we have to say yes, it is, or it would be a violation? So I'm going to say it would be a violation, and now it's giving me the answers. That's right. And it would be a violation because it's our job to advise them as to what's happening in the marketplace, which is the correct thing to do. So you can see what the learning path is going to do. It's going to bring you through, and once you finish, then it brings you to your tasks. In this case, it was read the case studies, if I recall. So that's how that's going to work. I hope that answers your question and doesn't over answer your question. Okay. Anything else?
Yes, we have another one. How many questions are in each section?
It's going to vary. Some of them only have a couple of questions, and some of them have like a whole big series. If you recall, the Fair Housing one, Article 10, had the scenarios where you had to answer that way, and I think there were 4. And other ones might be true or false. So it's going to vary on each. There's no consistency with the number of questions or the types of questions. Some of them are going to be scenarios. Some of them are going to be actually right or wrong, or a complaint, or a violation. It's all going to be different.
Okay, and what is the difference between tasks and learning path?
The learning path is where you have to go. A task is something that you need to complete on your learning path. So let's go back to learning. These are really good questions, guys. I hope this helps you, because these are the things that people get bogged down in. So I'm going to go into Code of Ethics again, because that's where we were. We know we've done the assessment. I still have tasks because I didn't answer all the questions. I still have everything because I didn't answer the questions. But see, it tells me I have a task associated with the competency. And my task is going to be read case interpretations. So it brings me right to the case interpretations that it's going to be telling me to read right here. All right, read the case interpretations. Waiting for a response. Well, anyway, it's going to bring me there. It's coming. It's coming. It's all right. In this case, it's bringing me here. It could be a video. It could be an actual case interpretation. And then I get to see which one I want to look at, or any of them. And I'm going to verify, then go back and verify that I did it on this date, the 29th. I verify. Actually, I'm going to have read what it is they told me to read, and then save it. And then the task is done. All right, so you can see now the gray. I read the case interpretations and I read the Code of Ethics. You can see the grays. Okay, next, any more?
Yes. Is there a set time frame to complete the endorsement?
No, there is no set time frame, but it's good for 2 years. Once you've completed it, you can take as little or as much time as you want to do it. I personally can't sit at a computer all day, although I've been doing it a lot in the past few weeks. But sitting at a computer all day working on questions would be challenging. So I did it about, I probably did it about an hour, maybe 2 hours a week. So it took me a couple weeks to go through it because I took my time going through it. And some of the things I went over several times. Cybersecurity specifically, I kept watching it. It was videos, and it was really, really good. Very helpful, helped me implement things in my office, made me a little bit nervous about, wow, I'm just a small real estate company, but what if any of this happened? It would wipe me out. So the cybersecurity was awesome, in my opinion.
Great. Is it true that a virtual town hall meeting counts as a town hall meeting requirement?
If it's a virtual town hall meeting and you're attending it, then yeah, I would say that I would accept that. If I were the judge, if I were Judge Judy, I would say yes, a virtual town meeting counts.
Awesome. And kind of a similar question. When it asks you to attend a community meeting as part of your task, can you use the one that you did a few months ago, or does it have to be one that you attended after you started the course?
It's going to ask you to put in the date. So yes, it can be one that you did, if it was 5 years ago, I'd say not so much. But if it was just a few months ago, I would say that would be fine. It's also going to have, I believe, if memory serves me right, it's going to ask that you've attended either the mid-year conferences or the NAR conference. And if you've never done that, the mid-year conferences are going to be virtual this year. So that could be an opportunity for you to attend a virtual conference and get credit for it without having to travel to Washington, D.C. Though if you have an opportunity to ever go to the mid-year conferences, I would highly recommend it. It's unbelievable. It's awesome. Really awesome. Okay, I digress. Any more questions?
Yes, we've got several, which is great. So once you start the questions, do you need to finish that section to save it, or can you do some questions and come back to it later?
You can do questions and come back later. Just make sure if they ever see a save button, save. That's all. But you saw it saved everything. And I didn't save when I was in Code of Ethics. I didn't save any of that. I just completed it and moved on. So it does save it for you.
Okay. Do the reading tasks come directly from the library?
I'm going to guess that yes, they do. I'll be honest and say the case interpretations, I just went to NAR and got the case interpretations through the Code of Ethics training area. because I really look specifically for cases when I'm doing the Code of Ethics class. But it did bring us there when we clicked on read the case interpretations. It did bring us there. We just didn't continue cycling through, but it would have.
Okay, and how much is it?
How much is what? How much does it cost?
Mm-hmm.
Free. It's free. F-R-E-E, free. Isn't that a commercial?
Yeah.
F-R-E-E, free. Yeah, it's free. It's awesome. It's our commitment. It's the National Association of Realtors' commitment to its members, to Realtors, because they believe in us. And we need to believe in us and point out our differentiation from licensees. We make this commitment to excellence.
Yes, I love that. That's the best part about it, and nobody has any excuses. So the last question that we have is, what happens at the end of the 2 years when the endorsement expires?
Well, I know I have to renew. So you saw May 21st, 2021, I have to renew by. And I actually got extra dates because they didn't start tracking it until like April or May. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm guessing that I'm going to I'll get some sort of a notification that I need to go back and be reassessed and do tasks again. I'm guessing. I honestly don't know the answer to that. That's a good question. I could try to find out. I'll
Okay.
write that down. I'll try and get an answer and give it to Lauren, and you can disseminate the information, Lauren.
Yeah, that sounds good. I can email everybody that's attended the
Okay.
webinar. So it looks like all the questions for today. As a reminder to everyone, this webinar has been recorded and will be available to view in the next few days on our website at marealtor.com. Thank you so much, Linda, for your presentation, and thank you to everyone for joining today.
I know. Thank you. It was awesome. Thank you so much. You made my first webinar fun.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad it was successful.
So thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. We hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.